Hi, guys. I'm Henry.
Hey, I'm Robert. Let's talk.
We're going to do something called Let's Talk, and it's just an open discussion of how we're feeling about today. You know, uh, we'll do it some days we will, some days we won't. Today I woke up and I was sad, and I tried to figure out why. Um, we get emails where we get receive bad news. I got a rejection letter today. It didn't really matter because I didn't really even want that job. You know, and then I started thinking, why are you feeling bad? You have a lot to be thankful for, a lot to be grateful for. You know, you know the day, right? Get up and be grateful for today. Thank God that you're alive. Think about good things, positive things, not negative. Don't let those things affect you. But sometimes they do. We can't all wake up and be happy and and focused on what we have. As humans, we tend to think about what we don't have, and I think that needs to be examined and looked at deeper. And, and we should be grateful for what we do have. Right? I'm grateful that I'm alive. I'm grateful that I have a beautiful daughter. I'm grateful for his friendship. I'm grateful for so many things, and sometimes you lose sight of that. And if by listening to us, this can help you, I hope it does. My message to you is to wake up and think about the possibilities, uh, the good versus as opposed to the bad. You know, be hopeful, be grateful, be thankful,
What
and
it's interesting that you bring this up because I think a lot of people don't look around and see how good they truly have it.
I agree.
I think people tend to always look at the negative, and in today's world, so many brilliant and empowered people who can't see what they have are blinded by the current administration and who leads it. They're so deranged that they can't see around them what they really have: a life, a career, a partner, a wife, dogs, a house, cars, their health. And I think people get lost in not realizing how good they truly have it. And I'm a classic example because I don't have $1 million in a savings account, and I still work and I'm still building something for my future because I didn't put myself in position to retire at this age. And I am so grateful. I don't have a rich partner. I don't have $150,000 car. But what I do have, I'm grateful for, and my house is paid.
That's very nice.
I have a dog. I have a special friend and companion. I have a friend in Henry. And it parlays too to what we were talking about in our Let's Talk session yesterday, which we didn't record. Friendship. I'm also very fortunate to have the friends that I have, which is only, I think, in my opinion, less than five. And if you have that, you're in a great position.
Yeah, I believe if you have this many friends, right? On one hand, just five trusted friends, then that's enough. That's enough for a lifetime. Uh, you know, you years ago when you were younger and on social media and Facebook and people are liking you and all this other stuff and it says you have 3,000 followers or friends. These people aren't your friends.
No, they're not.
They don't really care what happens to you at the end of the day.
And they don't.
Right? You are lucky and blessed if you have five friends. Uh, you know, if you have three friends, I mean, real friends, true friends that you can count on, that will listen to you when nobody else will, that will say, look, you know, let's look at the positives as opposed to the negatives. As human beings, which we instinctively think negatively before we start to think positively, and it's time to try and turn that around. You know,
Yeah, people should be more grateful for what they have and not pine for what they don't have.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
things that
exactly.
are not in your control, like the president. You need to let it go and be thankful for what you do have.
That's right. There's a saying, "Give me the strength to deal with what I have and not worry about what I can't control." I can't remember how it goes,
Yeah, and that's the biggest point.
right?
Why are so many people miserable with things they can't control?
That's right.
And these people are lawyers, doctors, intelligent therapists. I think you should use your own methods to, you know, be grateful for what you do have. So many people in this world don't have what we have.
That's right.
And there are so many people in the world who have more than I have and are less grateful and less appreciative human beings than I have ever met in my life. And it's really sad.
And again, we as human beings, sometimes tend to want more or try to be competitive with our neighbor, keeping up with the Joneses and stuff. None of that matters. What matters is how you feel, and 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 you as you look at the world and you look around you, how lucky you have it. You don't even know how lucky you do have. I mean, you think about this world and think about the millions of people who have less than you do, or have nothing, right? Stop thinking about the people that have more or the same, and be grateful for what you do have, you know, and focus on the positives, uh, you know, uh, on things like your family, uh, your sons and daughters, your friends. Uh, these are very important, major things in our lives.
You,
What's your greatest accomplishment? Think about that. Mine is my daughter. It's not about publishing a book, or being on TV, or running a network, or hanging out with famous people. I've done a lot of things, and the most important thing, that I am grateful for, and that I feel blessed to have done, is my daughter, helping to raise her up to be a fine human being, contributing member of our society, a person who knows right from wrong. You know, that's my greatest accomplishment.
and you should be appreciative of all this stuff.
Oh,
I just think that I think we have less than what most people have, and we're happier than those people. And that says a lot about gratitude.
that's right. Be
It
grateful
says a
to
lot
God.
about
Be
gratitude.
grateful. Wake up and say thanks. What a beautiful day, right? Even if it's raining, you still woke up. You still have things to do, right? You still have that son. You still have that daughter. Uh, you know, you do have a mission.
And I'm going to say something extremely judgmental. I go around and I'm a people person. I've been in the service industry, customer service industry, and it just amazes me how many people are miserable.
That's true.
You woke up, you're healthy, you have a job, and
Be thankful.
be thankful. There's so many people that are miserable. I just and people who are respected, especially in my own community. And I can't be around those people who just drag your energy down because they are unempowered to understand you can't do anything of things you cannot control. And the things you can control in your life is your gratitude for what you have, and to be thankful and appreciative, and to nurture the true friendships that you have.
Right. Gravitate towards people who are positive. Stay away from emotional vampires that drain you. Nobody needs that.
Yeah.
Nobody needs that. Nobody wants that. You shouldn't want that. Again, be thankful for what you have. Be thankful to be alive. Be thankful that you're healthy, that you can walk, that you can breathe, that you don't have any horrible, crippling affliction or disease. You know,
But what's interesting is this parlays on what we were talking about yesterday about friends.
that's right.
I've been going through a phase through my own personal growth of eliminating toxic people in my life, eliminating negative people, eliminating people who draw your positive energy, um, and condescending and bullying and know it all people. Uh, that removes pretty much so many people from my life, and that's fine. We talk about what true friendship is. True friendship isn't calling someone to check in on them because you expect them to do that. A friendship is spontaneity. A friendship is it flows. Everything flows. Nothing's ever forced. Um,
It's natural.
it's natural,
It's
and I
natural.
think
It
people
happens
misconstrue organically,
Right.
but a lot of people misconstrue. Oh, I have 50 friends. No, you don't.
You
Oh,
don't.
I have 5,000 friends on Facebook.
No.
No,
No.
no. I don't think 4,999 one of them are going to drive over to your house and drive you to the doctors. How about that?
Or reach out to you when you're ill, right? They may not have you know found out that you fell and broke your leg, but someone else told them, and they immediately call
Right.
and are seriously concerned
And
about your whereabouts.
that's exactly right.
Or how you're feeling.
Friends don't pressure
Or
you
how, or,
into doing things, correct?
that's right.
Don't put you on crazy schedules or check-in schedules. It's just a true friendship just develops and flows. And so um yeah, I think people don't understand the meaning of what a friend is. And there's too many outside interferences telling you how a friend should act. That doesn't apply to everybody.
You can't define
You can't
that.
define a friendship.
Don't even try to.
I have a friend who I call maybe once a month. I don't get ridiculed for it. Um, I have a friend who calls me once a day. I don't talk to him every day, but I answer the phone. And but true friendship, if you can count on your hand five or around there, you're lucky. Well, most people don't have friends. Most people have acquaintances. Most people know a lot of people, but those aren't your friends.
That's right.
Yeah.
Friends support you. They're not jealous of you. Friends praise you when things go your way, and you support them. It's not about trying to outdo each other. It's not about trying to out earn each other, or or be better than them.
And
Right?
truthfully, friends don't push you into something like the moniker this last past election. People were saying, my true friends don't vote for someone who's going to hurt me. That's a hypocrisy, and that's just ridiculous. True friends allow you to live who you are because
That's
they
right.
judge you on how you're treating them. That's it. That's how friendships are developed. I treat him well, he treats me well. I don't care if he votes for that man in the next election.
It's about mutual respect.
Exactly.
And how does that work? Well, again, in a friendship, you earn that respect. How do you earn respect? Well, by meaning what you say, by doing what you say you're going to do.
Boom,
Right?
following through on what you say you're going to do.
That's right. That's how you earn respect. That's how you earn your friends. That's how they say, well, look, he said he was here and he was here. He came when he said he would. He helped me when he said he was going to. Again, you're earning their respect. They know that they can count on you. They know that if something goes down, you're going to be there for them. And the same is for yourself, right? You know that you can pick up that phone and call and say, "Hey, look, I'm having a bad day. This is what's the matter," and they'll talk to you and they'll say, "Hey, you know, try and be positive, try and be grateful, right? Think about the good things, and don't you know don't lament on things that you can't control or things that have happened, right? Too many people live in the past. We coulda, shoulda, woulda. Again, try and live in the moment, in the present, right? And then we all have anxiety. I know that I do. You're anxious about what's going to happen tomorrow. Try and focus on today, right? On something you can control. What am I going to do today? What am I working? What are the things that I need to accomplish today? Tomorrow is tomorrow. Don't project out, because you never know what can happen, right? And we're anxious about things. The unknown causes anxiety, right? So focus on the here and now, on the things you can control, on the things that you do know. You know, that's my advice. Right?
Sounds good to me.
I hope you have heard what we have to say, and maybe this will help you because it's helped me talking about it. So thanks.
Let go of what you can't control. You don't have 5,000 friends. An attitude of gratitude and be thankful.
Be thankful. We're thankful.
And you can't stress over things you cannot control.
Try not to be anxious.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you for listening.
That's pretty good.